First at 11 tonight, a final deal is reached in the high-stakes legal challenge against Rhode Island's landmark pension overhaul law.
It's a story that affects every person who works, lives, and pays taxes in Rhode Island. Now, here are the major sticking points. The resolution involves about 59,000 Rhode Island state employees, past and present. 2 unions are not part of the agreement, making up about 800 police and firefighters.
So what's next? Both sides now have 45 days until May 18th to implement the terms of the settlement, which also has to be approved by the General Assembly. Eyewitness News has in-depth coverage of this important story tonight, and we begin with Perry Russum, who has more information on the settlement from the State House.
Starting later this month, the court will hold weekly conferences to keep track of this settlement as it progresses to becoming finalized. This could all be over by this summer. A total of 59,000 Rhode Islanders would be affected by this proposed settlement agreement. All but 2 unions said the deal was good enough to avoid going to court.
Unions that did not agree, at least as of this time, for settlement purposes, really involve about 800 police and fire. So I think this is an awesome achievement.
Step 1 in the 3-part process to avoid going to trial is done, agreeing on a proposed settlement. Next, the judge has to approve the plan before the General Assembly has the final say with a vote.
I suspect that it may ultimately become part of the budget, which we'll address sometime early in June.
House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello says he still has to go over the specifics of the plan, but says a good settlement is better than a good trial.
Generally, I believe it's a good settlement for everybody.
Robert Walsh is the executive director of National Education Association Rhode Island, a teachers union. He says settling is the most practical thing to do.
We believe that the settlement looks like the ultimate victory scenario.
This has already been an expensive lawsuit for the state. The Treasurer's office tells us as of last week, they've already paid more than $1 million in legal fees. If they went to trial, that number would only increase.
This is a big deal. This is a painful series of cuts, and I do not want to underestimate that or the impact it had on our folks. The vote, while it was for our folks overwhelming, it was done with a heavy heart.
Speaker Mattiello says opinions will differ on this settlement, but based on his conversations with some of the representatives, he says the House will be supportive of this agreement. I'm Perry Russum, Eyewitness News.
The 2011 landmark pension overhaul law was largely designed and championed by then General Treasurer and now Governor Gina Raimondo, who today hailed the proposed settlement as the best outcome for everyone involved.
The proposed settlement agreement is an important step toward providing certainty for our public employees and our cities and towns, and I believe is in the best interest of all Rhode Islanders now and to secure our future.
Now, as we told you, a group of 800 are not part of the pension settlement. They represent Cranston police and firefighters. And today, Cranston Mayor Alan Fung expressed his disappointment. In a statement released to Eyewitness News, Mayor Fung said, quote, "Our taxpayers will face the additional burden of potentially tremendous legal fees as a result of Cranston police and firefighters being excluded from the settlement agreement. As a result of this unique predicament, Cranston will be the only municipality in the state to face these added expenses on 2 fronts." Count on Eyewitness News for continuing coverage on air and online. You can find extended coverage on WPRI.com, including in-depth reports on all the major developments leading to today's settlement agreement.